And we are live for episode 166 of the Hurricane Mike Show, where we will be going over our week 13. Damn, week 13. Week 13 predictions. And Jerry's already in the chat saying Bears beat the Eagles. What's good, fellas? What's good, Jerry? Look, Atlanta, they might have beat us, but I guarantee you they're losing to the Jets Sunday. Because why, Dad?
Because they... Wait a second now. I say these people suck every show. It's Thanksgiving, bro. So even though you may suck, like really bad, I still hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and your family receives all kind of blessings in abundance. But you still suck.
Amen to that. Jerry says that he loves the saying. Yep, I mean we created it 166 episodes ago, and we're sticking by it. But actually, shout out to Kyle for the inspiration. Though I don't think I've ever said this. Kyle, you know Kyle Phelps, the guy that we be streaming with, or I at least stream with. When he did the Battle of the Ohio podcast with him and the Browns fan, they used to always start the show saying the Steelers suck, and I was like, you know what, that's actually clever. So I was like, you know what, I don't got nothing against Steelers, but screw Atlanta, so why not? But we're gonna start week 13, and it's weird. We've already had 4 predictions already, and Dad, I ain't gonna lie, you start off terrible this week, bro.
I know, right?
Like so far, you are. Let's see. You are 0-4. The first, and I'm 3-1, bro. I'm 3-1.
I do better on Sunday and Monday games, bro. These Thursday and Friday games, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I can see that. Like I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, man, you 0-4, and I'm 3-1 in this, bro. Because I picked the Packers to win, and I picked Dallas. The only pick I got wrong was the Ravens, but shoot. But hey, last week you beat me by 1. As last week you had a 9-4 total record for that week, and your total record of the season is 106-70-1. And last week I was 8-6, with my total record being 95-82-1. Now my record is way better than that, and your record is way worse than that now. But I mean, we're still both doing well for ourselves. But let's get started with these Sunday games. Starting off at the 12 o'clock slate, obviously, since all the international games are thankfully over, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. And also no team on bye week. Yep. Yeah. Man, the 49ers last week on Monday night had an interception fest against the Panthers. Threw 3 interceptions against Carolina, and they still won the game by 2 scores because the Panthers suck a little bit. Not as much as Atlanta, but they suck a little bit. And the Browns last week, man, they won in Shedeur Sanders' first career start, and Shedeur is set to start again. Apparently, Dylan Gabriel apparently is cleared from concussion protocol, but they're saying, you know what, let's put in Shedeur and let's see what he's got. So what is your prediction for 49ers Browns?
Huh? You said something?
Yeah.
Well, my prediction is first off, don't let appearances fool you. All right, let's just say that. Let's don't think that Shedeur Sanders is off the hot start or whatever. Shedeur Sanders just played a team that is tanking, and I have it on video evidence that the Raiders are tanking for that first pick. You know why I know this? Because why wasn't Shedeur blitzed all game last week. Why didn't you have 10 sacks against Shador? There's only one reason. It's because you're tanking. You're trying to lose this game. Or you would have 20 sacks against Shador Sanders. I know it. So anyway, I don't think the 49ers are going to be tanking is my biggest point. So I think the 49ers are going to get after him. They're going to have at least 8 sacks. Trust me. 8 sacks. That's another prediction. Mark it down. So 49ers 28, Cleveland Browns 13.
Okay. Well, I think Shador, I understand he played against the tanking Raiders. But overall, other than that one interception, but hey, we all throw in. Well, not us because we don't play football. But I mean, a lot of quarterbacks be throwing interceptions, so I don't really take that into account. However, I think Shador played decently well. You know, he could have had a better sideline if Jerry Jeudy didn't fumble the ball. But Browns, I mean, hey, a win is a win. It doesn't matter if you play a tanking Raiders squad or the best team in the league. If you win a game, you win a game. However, this is not the Raiders, I will say that. I still think the Browns will keep it interesting, and I think it will be close for the most part because I don't trust the 49ers either, to be honest with you, because the 49ers are injured, and even last week against Carolina, Brock Purdy showed his flaws. However, I got the 49ers winning this one 33-28. 49ers get the W.
Let me ask you a question.
All right, sure, go ahead.
When's the last time you got excited over 11 completions against a tanking team?
I don't know because I mean, probably when Tyler Shuck threw his 11th completion.
Okay.
I mean, Justin Fields a few weeks ago, that man had 6 completions. So I mean,
He
guys
sucks.
can do worse. Yeah, but guys can do worse. That's all I'm gonna say about that. What game are we on?
He will do worse this week. Okay, moving on.
Dang, you just hate this man, bro. You hate him almost as much as you hate the Falcons, bro. Okay. Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. AFC South showdown, or at least that's what they say. Jaguars last week had a scare against Arizona. They went to overtime. And they pulled it off at the end. A lot of referee speculation. A lot of people thought it should have been pass interference on Jacksonville at the end of overtime. I don't know if you saw it, but on the last play or the second last play, it was one of them. The Jaguars committed pass interference, and the refs didn't call it, which could have set up a Cardinals for a game-winning touchdown. They didn't call it. Jaguars won. So, just saying. But the Jaguars still won. And last week, the Titans. Honestly, they were not the Titans last week. They actually did better than what they usually do. You know, they kept it close. They were getting blown out for a little bit, but, you know, they kept it close with one of the best teams in football. But, you know, they're still the Titans, so, you know, they still lost to Seahawks. But good job, Tennessee, for at least making it a watchable football game. So what is your prediction for Jacksonville, Tennessee?
I'm predicting an upset.
Oh, that's
Upset
nice.
alert. Upset alert. I think the Tennessee Titans is going to win this football game. I think Trevor Lawrence, you know, he's up and down. I think he's going to be down this week. Yeah, he could throw for like 4 touchdowns, or he could throw for 4 interceptions. You never know what you're going to get with Trevor Lawrence. I think this is going to be one of those games where he's coming in overconfident. It's just the Titans. We could just roll out the ball and we'll win, whatever. Not so fast like Corso used to say. So, Tennessee, 22. Jacksonville, 16.
22-16. Okay, I could see an upset here. In fact, I was actually thinking about picking it. However, I thought about it, and the Titans are the Titans. So I think it will be a close game. It's a divisional game, which I think gives Like, if you're a Titans fan, I feel like this is probably the most winnablest game. And it's weird because Jacksonville's currently in the playoffs, but I don't really know what to think about Jaguars. There's like a few teams every season where you don't know what to think about. And the Jaguars are always on that list. It's like they're either so good or, well, no, they're not. They're usually good, but not too good, or they are bad, but not too bad. It's confusing with them. Like the Jaguars, the Chargers, even the Cardinals. I don't know how to think about those three specifically. Like the Cardinals, I think they have only like 3 wins, but they could have like 6 or 7 wins. Add the Giants there. Like the Giants, they're eliminated from the playoffs, and I did the math. Like they could have 7 wins right now if they didn't choke all them leads, bruh. But yeah, Titans I think will put up an effort, but give me Jacksonville to win this one 19-16. Next, we got the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts, which should be the return of C.J. Stroud. But the Texans did beat the Bills with Davis Mills, so I don't know how I feel about them bringing back Stroud right now. But yeah, the Colts last week, they did their best Atlanta impression by choking to the Chiefs. What is your prediction for Texans Colts?
I think the Texans need to stick with Davis Mills. My opinion. I mean, he's playing pretty well lately. So going back to the guy, so we'll see how that works. But I think with Davis Mills or C.J. Stroud, I think the Colts are going to win this game. And I think it'll be a 10-point game. So I'm going with 33-23. Colts win.
33-23 says, yeah, I'm going Colts too. It's like the Texans are a sneaky good team with that defense, but I understand Daniel Jones has a foot fracture, but this is the thing I have with the Texans and 49ers. If your backup QB is doing so well, why would you put your starter? Like, why would you put your starter immediately back into the game, bro? It's like, here's how I would do it. I would only put I would only put back in my starter if I have a reason to. Like, for example, with the Commanders, Jay and Daniels can't come back soon enough because that's how bad Marcus Mariota is. But, like, Mac Jones is doing well for the 49ers, but then he got replaced by a 3-interception throwing 50% Brock Purdy. And now you got the Texans. I mean, Davis Mills hasn't even lost a game for the Texans, but he's getting replaced by C.J. Stroud again because why? Because it's not like you paid him a lot of money. Like with the 49ers, it's because Purdy got overpaid. But Stroud's on his rookie deal, so I don't understand what the deal is. Like if you have so much momentum with one guy, I would just stick with that guy until he gives you a reason not to stick with him. Personally, like if you have momentum with the guy, stick with them. And I think that's going to bite the Texans in the behind. Give me the Colts 32-18. Next, we got the unfortunate game of the New Orleans Saints at the Miami Dolphins. Last week, the Saints made all of us hate being a Saints fan, and the Dolphins were on bye, which terrifies me. What is your prediction for Saints-Dolphins?
I would love to say the Saints, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pick against our home team this week. I've only done this like twice this year. So
I've done it like 5 times.
The what?
I've done it like 5 or 6 times.
I'm going with the Dolphins 35-20.
35-20. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie though. I think this game will be close because the Saints are going to do the Saints thing where they keep it close and then they just lose. Give me the Dolphins to win 24-16. Look, the Saints, I have no fear of them moving the football. I think their offense can move the football, especially against the Dolphins. My fear for the Saints, I don't trust them getting into the end zone. I mean, last week they had the ball at the 1-yard line for 8 total plays. And they only got 3 points out of them. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think the Saints might. Like, the Saints are 0 for 3 in the red zone last week, and they're probably going to be 0 for 4 this week. Give me Dolphins 24-16, and Tyler Shuck is just going to be along for the ride. And I will say this about Kellen Moore, though. A lot of people are saying Kellen Moore this, Kellen Moore that. I understand. Look, I wanted Kellen Moore. He was always my go-to. And personally, when you say Kellen Moore isn't the answer, is Moore doing a great or even a good job? No. But here's my thing. He's a rookie head coach. I understand a lot of rookie head coaches can do well. Like Sean Payton. Like Sean Payton for the Saints. When he came here, we went to the NFC Championship his first year. But what you have to realize, Saints fans and Kellen Moore supporters or Kellen Moore non-supporters, here's what you have to understand. Here's what you have to understand. Every coach is going to have different paths to success. Just because Kellen Moore's not good in year one does not mean he can't be good ever. With Dennis Allen, it was different during his first year with the Saints because we already knew who he was when he was with the Raiders. Like, we were all optimistic about it, but we already knew what the deal was with him. This team has there is not one player on the Saints right now where I'm looking at and being like he's going to be a top 10 player at his position in 5 years. There's not a single player. Our best players are about to retire. Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara. And Kamara's not even that good anymore. So you all can say this about Kellen Moore, but he's learning on the job. Just like Tyler Shuck is learning on the job being a rookie quarterback, Kellen Moore is a rookie head coach learning on the job. So this is what I made a video before the season. We have to be patient with the process. It's not going to be a fun process. It might not even be year 2 where he wakes up. But give him at least 2 to 3 years. And if things not progressing, okay, we might go in a different direction. But he's a rookie head coach. So let's chill on the Kellen Moore. Like, we can't have a reason to hate on Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson. Because these guys have been here for years. But like guys like Tyler Shuck and Kellen Moore, it's like we got to give them time, personally. But anyways, let's move on. I just had to get that out. Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Last week, Atlanta did the thing that I hate that they always, or they don't always, but I hate that they did it. And the Jets last week were the Jets. What is your prediction for this?
My prediction will be that the Jets will be the Jets. But they're still going to beat the Falcons. So I'm going with the Jets at home yes, they're trying to tank, and they're still going to beat the Falcons. 29-21.
Yeah, I'm going. I mean, I don't even know if you would really call it an upset right now. Give me the Jets to pull it out 24-22. Why? Because Atlanta's gonna crumble. Okay. Look, I made a community post about this after Atlanta beat us, like a day after. Laugh now, cry later. Okay. Like, y'all can laugh all y'all want, but when we beat y'all week 18, when y'all lose to the Jets on Sunday, laugh now, wham. But yeah, at this point it was laugh early, but now it's cry now. Because now it's the crime process. Give me Jets to win by 2 points, 24-22. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cardinals last week, like I said, put up a fight against Jacksonville. Probably should have won that game, but, The Buccaneers last week got destroyed by the Rams on Sunday night, and Baker Mayfield got hurt. And I think Mayfield is training towards playing, but I don't know how active that arm's going to be, especially, without, I don't think Evans is coming back. Godwin, I think, is still out. And Ibuka, I don't know. I don't know if he plays or not. But what is your prediction for Cardinals, Buccaneers?
Having said all those injury problems that the Buccaneers have, I still think the Buccaneers are going to win this football game no matter who's on the center. I mean, they're going to win it defensively and special teams wise. So I expect a low-scoring game, and I do think the Bucks come out on top, 16-14.
All right, 16-14. I actually got an upset. Sound the alarms. Upset alert. Upset alert. Give me Arizona to pull this out in an offensive showcase because I feel like this is a matchup between two good offenses. Like, the Cardinals, record-wise, might not be good, but Jacoby Brissett is a pretty good QB. Like, I don't even think it's probably, no, this is a fact. And I don't even know if you can count him as a backup now because technically he's the starter. Jacoby Brissett is the best backup in probably NFL history. Because this boy, man, comes in and throws 47 completions against 49ers. They still lost by 19 points, but he did that. And I think Baker Mayfield is still going to be a little rusty coming from like not being able to throw with his shoulder. You know, his shoulder a little banged up. So give me the Cardinals to pull it out 30-23. Next, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Carolina Panthers. Last week, the Rams destroyed Tampa Bay on a spiritual level. And the Panthers, well, they got beat by Brock Purdy. Like, how do you get 3 interceptions and you still lose by 11 points? That don't make no sense to me. But anyways, what is your prediction for Rams-Panthers?
We really got to talk about this. I mean, come on. The Rams are going to smash the Panthers.
Yeah, you're right.
They're going to smash them, and it's not even going to be close. I think the Rams are going to win 38-24.
38-24. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be more defensive, though. I think the Rams' offense has been doing a little bit too good. A little too good. I think this is going to be their one game where it's like, what? But they're still going to beat the Panthers. Why? Because the Panthers got to find a way to score somehow. Give me the Rams to win, though, 19-17. So, yeah, but sorry, Panthers. Not sorry. Let's get to the 305 slate as the Minnesota Vikings will be at the Seattle Seahawks. Minnesota has no J.J. McCarthy, which is probably better for the Vikings. Do you think it's odd? I'm not trying to make assumptions, but do you think it's odd that every time J.J. McCarthy starts doing terrible, that's when he gets concussion protocoled?
You think he didn't get hit?
That would explain some of the dumb stuff he'd be doing, but it's like I remember week 1 against Chicago. He was playing pretty well. But then week 2 against Atlanta, he stank. And then, he's out for a few weeks. And then he comes back against the Ravens, did decent. And then he plays against the Packers. He does terrible, and now he's in concussion protocol. Look, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but just saying, I don't think the math is matching with that. But, last week the Vikings, bruh. The Vikings they're 4-7. J.J. McCarthy, and I tried telling people before J.J. McCarthy was drafted, he's not a franchise QB. He is Mac Jones at best. And I don't even think he's Mac Jones right now. Like, the man's probably a couple hits away from being Tua. So it's like, nah. And then he's playing against the Seahawks team where, they kept it close to the Titans, but they still put up 30 points on their head. And now the Vikings are starting Max Brosmer. And I know about 5 of you are already looking up to see who that is. But what is your prediction for Vikings Seahawks? And this game's in Seattle, which does not give me hope for Minnesota's case.
No, so I'm going for the Seahawks to win at home. Vegas has them 11.5-point favorites, which is huge. So Vegas thinks it's going to be a blowout. And so do I. I'm going to go 31-17.
31-17, he says. I don't know if you know or not. It's not like I basically made my prediction before you even started talking. Give me Seattle to win this one. Like, even if they had JJ McCarthy, I still would take Seattle in a landslide. It's like the Vikings are just bad. Like, this is the same team that won 14 games last season under Sam Darnold, and I just realized I didn't even take this into account. Sam Darnold's playing against the Vikings on Sunday. I literally just thought about that, and it's going to be a landslide. I think Minnesota might score some garbage time points to make it a close game at the end, but give me Seattle to win 30-22. Sorry, Minnesota, not sorry. Now for the 325 slot, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bills last week, they struggled against the Texans. And honestly, that might be an understatement. Like, they got sacked they got sacked like 28,000 times. Like, Josh Allen was not Josh Allen. Like, that man was missing throws. Like, he made a couple decent plays at the end, but it's like, bro, I don't know how to think about Buffalo. And the Steelers, I mean, for having a backup quarterback, they did decent against Chicago. So the defense came alive for a moment. So, what is your prediction for Bills Steelers?
I think that the Bills are going to rebound and going on the road to Pittsburgh and will win this football game. I think Aaron Rodgers, this is another prediction, going to throw 2 picks. One of them could be a pick 6. Remember that. Anyway, so give me the Bills. 25-23.
Down the upset alarms. Woo! Give me the Steelers to get the W. And here's why. If you've been watching the Steelers under Mike Tomlin, you would know this. They can lose to all the bad teams they want to, but whenever they play a real team, that's when they look like a real team. Like the Steelers, they could probably lose to the Jets one week, and then the next week they were beating the Patriots. Does it make sense? No. But the Steelers don't make sense. If there was one team that I'm glad I'm not a fan of, it's the Steelers, because they would confuse me every week. Give me the Steelers to pull it out in a defensive one, 15-14. And also, I like that defense. That's why. Next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. AFC West showdown. Raiders last week. They done lost to that boy Shador. The Chargers last week. Maybe they're on a bye week. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could just see from like my past stuff. But I don't even know if the Chargers played for. I think they were on bye. So yeah, they were on bye. So they're coming off of bye. So what do you think? And Georgia Tech gets the field goal. Good for them. What is your prediction for Raiders Chargers?
I think the Chargers are going to win this football game at home. Justin Herbert's going to have a big day. 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. So give me the Chargers 35. Raiders 25.
25 points?
I know.
No, I'm playing.
They're going to have a lot of garbage points.
In fact, I actually got the Raiders upsetting the Chargers. I had the Raiders upsetting the Chargers, to be honest with you. And here's why. Because they're the Chargers. And you might be like, well, what does that got to do with anything? It's the same thing with the Steelers. The Chargers are one of the most confusing teams in football. The Raiders are going to win this game.
But you're the Raiders. You're the Raiders who are tanking this year.
There's a lot of tanking teams that sometimes win games. I mean, if the Raiders were really tanking, they would just take a knee every play. Can't score.
The players don't tank, but as coaches, you could tank. like they did last week by not calling any blitzes against Shador Sanders, that's coaches tanking. But
well, maybe the players hate the coach. So give me the Raiders to win this one 29-25. Also, this is the first game without Chip Kelly because the Raiders fired Chip Kelly. And usually teams that just fire coaches usually have a good game. So give me the Raiders to upset the Chargers. But also, if the Raiders lose this game, it's going to be Geno Smith's fault. If the Saints miss the playoffs this season, it's Geno Smith's fault. If there is a car crash at 3 a.m., it's going to be Geno Smith's fault. All right? You know what I'm referencing?
no.
In the post game of the Raiders' last game, Geno Smith said blame everything on him. Like if your kids late to school, blame it on him and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't see that, but yeah, that sounds like something he'd say.
Yeah, he's like, if you're late to work, blame it on me. If your kids are late to school, blame it on me. So yeah, man, I was watching this one video last week where they were at NFL therapy, and the Saints fan was like, you know what, I didn't even have any toilet paper this morning. I bet you it was that Geno Smith. And Geno Smith was, or the Raiders fans were like, valid. And then the Vikings fan was like, I bet Geno Smith is the reason J.J. McCarthy don't know how to play quarterback. And then everybody acted like he committed a felony. They were like, oh, wait, that was too far. Thinking he has anything to do with J.J. McCarthy's bullcrap. No. But yeah, it was just funny how they just harped on Minnesota. But yeah, I got Raiders upsetting. All right. Sunday Night Football in a game where I don't even know if I'm going to watch. The Denver Broncos at the Washington Commanders. Broncos, man. They did something last week. I don't remember what it was, but they did something. And the Commanders last week, I think they were on bye. So, the Commanders also won't have Jane Daniels. I think they're McLaurin. I think Scary Terry is playing for Washington. So that's something. But, you can have the shiniest car in the world, but if it has no gas, it's no use. So so what's your prediction for this game?
My prediction is no Jaden Daniels, no win. I mean, who are they gonna run out there? Marcus Mariota?
Yes.
Is he the one still in there? Well,
Yep.
I mean, he just showed some flashes early in the year, like he can get it done, but for the most part, he hasn't got it done. So, give me the Broncos, the number one team in the AFC West. Broncos. They still have a lot to play for, so they'll be motivated and they'll win this game. 27-19.
All right. I got it being defensive because I'm not really a big fan of either team's offense, but I am a fan of the Broncos' defense at least. So I think there's gonna be defensive. Give me Denver 16-15. Now Monday Night Football. Where this might be an interesting game, to be honest with you. Monday Night Football, we got the New York Giants at the New England Patriots. I know none of the guys are still on the same team, but this is a Super Bowl rematch from 10 years ago, man. No, they probably, I don't know, maybe for the fans, but for the players, they don't really care. Giants, Patriots. Last week, the Giants were the first team to get mathematically eliminated. And, I mean, hey, they kept it close to Detroit. I mean, they had that's one of the leads that they blew. And they also fired the defensive coordinator, so we'll see what happens with that. Jackson Dart will play, though, on Sunday or Monday. And for the Patriots, last week, they did things. They did them well. Do I remember what they did? No, I don't. What did they? I don't know. It does not matter. They're 10-2. So, what is your prediction for Giants Patriots on Monday night?
Give me the. Ooh, I almost said Giants. No, give me the Patriots to win at home. Like you said, Giants already eliminated from playoff contention. I think they're still in line for, tanking for that number one spot. So their coaches and general managers and all, they're in full tank mode. They not blitzing no Drake May. They playing very vanilla defense and offense. Just watch. So Patriots 31, Giants 21.
Yeah. All right, Georgia. They're gonna win this game now. But yeah, I got Patriots winning. I think it's gonna be a close game. However, the Giants are gonna do what they usually do. They might even have a lead at some point in the fourth quarter, but they're not gonna hold it. Give me the Patriots to win this one, 20-17. So before we get out of here, we're gonna do playoff picture. You want to do the NFC or the AFC
NFC.
first? NFC. All right, let me just get this up here. Let's start over in the NFC conference, where the number one seed currently is held by the team in the City of Angels, the Los Angeles Rams, with a 9-2 record. Doing pretty well for themselves, you know. But that before we actually get into it, what do you think the odds are of the Rams bringing back Aaron Donald going back to the Rams to win another bowl? You think that's gonna happen? Because I don't. A lot of people seem to think it will, but I don't.
No, I think Aaron Donald's done.
Yeah, that's what I like. Because even Donald said he was done, but yeah, a lot of people still saying he's going back, which I don't understand. But yeah, Rams are number one in the NFC as of this current moment with a 9-2 record. They play the Panthers this week. They currently have a 99% chance to make the playoffs. If they beat the Panthers, they'll have more than the 99% chance to make it in. But if they lose, then they'll have a 97% chance to make it in. So it's pretty good odds for the Rams, win or lose. The number 2 seed, and it's just updated a few, 20 minutes ago, Chicago Bears went up from the 3 seed to the 2 seed after beating the Eagles. The Bears have a 9-3 record. However, they only have a 79% chance to make the playoffs. And you think that's a little bit low right now for being the 2 seed in the NFC. Oh, give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. And the 3 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, they dropped from the 2 seed to the 3 seed with an 8-4 record, as they lost to the Bears already, and they have a 95% chance to make the playoffs. The 4 seed currently is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 6-5 record. They play the Cardinals this week. They currently have an 87% chance, which I think is a little high, because if they lose this game, the Panthers win their game, then the Buccaneers are second in the division. So that's, I think, a little high than what I thought. How do the Bears have a 79 and the Buccaneers have an 87? That makes no sense. But whatever. The Buccaneers have an 87% chance to make the playoffs. If they beat the Cardinals, they'll have a 91% chance. If they lose, they'll have an 81% chance. The Seattle Seahawks have the 5th seed currently in the NFC with an 8-3 record. They play the Vikings this week. They currently have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. If they beat the Vikings, they'll have a 94% chance. If they lose, they'll have a 76% chance. The Green Bay Packers have the 6th seed with an 8-3-1 record, and they already beat the Lions this week, which means they have a 91% chance to make it in the playoffs. And the 7th seed is the San Francisco 49ers with an 8-4 record. They play the Browns this week. They currently have an 83% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have a 90% chance. If they lose, they'll have a 71% chance. Now, all the teams that are on the outside looking in of the NFC and the Giants, the 8th seed is the Detroit Lions. They lost to the Packers already. The Lions have a 7-5 record, which means they have a 42% chance to make the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys, they went up from number 10 to number 9 as they are the 9th seed. With a 6-5-1 record after beating the Chiefs yesterday. They have an 18% chance to make the playoffs. The Panthers fell from number 9 to number 10 as the Cowboys won, and the Panthers have a 6-6 record. And they're number 10 in the NFC. They currently have a 12% chance to make the playoffs as they play the Rams this week. If the Panthers beat the Rams, they'll have a 21% chance, and if they lose, they'll have a 10% chance. The 11th seed is the Atlanta Falcons with a 4-7 record. They play the Jets this week. They currently have a 2% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have a 3% chance, and if they lose, then they'll have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs. The 12th seed is the Minnesota Vikings with a 4-7 record. They play the Seahawks this week. They currently have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have a 3% chance. If they lose, they'll still have less than a 1% chance. The Arizona Cardinals have the 13th seed with a 3-8 record. They play the Buccaneers this week. They currently have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs, and that's going to be the same if they win or lose. The Washington Commanders hold the 14th seed with a 3-8 record. They play the Broncos this week. They'll have a less than 1% chance regardless. And the Saints are the 15th seed with the 2-9 record. They play the Dolphins this week. They have less than a 1% chance regardless, unfortunately. And there's already been one team eliminated, and that is the New York Giants, number 16, with a 2-10 record. Even if the Giants win the rest of their games, they are not making the playoffs this season. Like, mathematically already eliminated. Now let's go over to the AFC, where the number 1 seed is the 10-2 New England Patriots, who play the Giants this week. They currently have more than a 99% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, it will be more than 99. But if they lose, they'll only have a 98% chance to make the playoffs. Ooh, that's a lot. The number 2 seed is the Denver Broncos at 9-2. They play the Commanders this week. They currently have a 98% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have more than a 99% chance. If they lose, they'll have a 96% chance. The 3 seed is the Indianapolis Colts with an 8-3 record. They currently have an 88% chance to make the dance. If they win, they'll have a 96% chance, but a loss brings it down to 77. And the 4th seed now is the Pittsburgh Steelers after last night. The Steelers took back the 4th seed with a 6-5 record since the Ravens lost. The Steelers play the Bills this week. They currently have a 43% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have a 56% chance. If they lose, they'll have a 32% chance. The Los Angeles Chargers are the 5 seed with a 7-4 record. They play the Raiders this week. The Chargers currently have a 65% chance to make the playoffs. A win brings them to 71. A loss drops them down to 44. The Jaguars, they're doing well. Jaguars have the 6th seed at a 7-4 record. They played the Titans this week. They currently have a 74% chance to make the playoffs. A win brings them to 82. Loss drops them down to 56. And the Bills are the 7th seed with a 7-4 record. They play the Steelers this week. They currently have an 83% chance to make the playoffs. A win brings it up to 92. Loss drops them down to 72. And the teams that are on the outside looking in, the 8th seed Houston Texans with a 6-5 record. They played the Colts this week. Division implications for that game. They currently have a 47% chance to make the playoffs. A win brings them up to 65. A loss brings them down to 35. The Chiefs, after losing to the Cowboys, have a 6-6 record and are the 9th seed, as they currently have a 38% chance to make the playoffs. And the Ravens, after losing last night to the Bengals, have a 6-6 record, and they obviously lost to the Bengals, so they only have a 61% chance to make the playoffs. The 11th seed is the Miami Dolphins with a 4-7 record. They play the Saints this week. They currently have 1% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they'll have a 2% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose, then they'll have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs. The Bengals, after beating the Ravens last night, are the 12th seed with a 4-8 record. They have a 2% chance to make the playoffs. The Browns are the 13th seed at 3-8. They play the 49ers this week. They'll have less than a 1% chance regardless, as they do now. The Raiders are number 14 at 2-9. They have less than a 1% chance regardless. And the Jets are 15 at 2-9, less than 1. And Titans are 16 at 1-10 with less than 1% chance regardless. So now, taking all of our predictions into account. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up again. Hold up. Well, before I update the thing, that after hearing all those, after hearing the playoff picture, do you predict anything to change for the long run?
Not really. What stands out to me is that these playoffs might be absent a lot of great, marquee quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, the Chiefs. I mean, these people may be missing the playoffs this year. Who would have thought that before the season?
I mean, I predicted the Ravens to miss the playoffs this season.
The Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, I had the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's something I don't know where I had the Bengals. I think I had the Bengals either just in the playoffs or like a couple spots out. I don't know where I had them. And also, are you watching this Georgia Tech game right now?
No, I'm not.
Well, there's 13 seconds. Georgia's up by 7, but Georgia Tech, so they're gonna have like 1 or 2 plays, and Georgia just punted them the ball. So it'll be so funny though if Georgia loses though. That'd be hilarious. But it's probably not gonna happen. Anyway, so let's let me reset this because I had to do all this stuff for a video. Okay, hold on. All right, let's reset. All right, so for you, I'm gonna do yours first. You had the Titans over Jacksonville, Colts, Chargers, Bills. All right, hold up. Now, why would you do? I mean, okay, got out of bounds, so that's nice. All right, Broncos, Patriots. Over here, Tampa Bay. Rams, Seahawks. Okay, so after the playoffs, this is how your playoff picture is going to look. You got the Patriots at the 1 seed, Broncos at number 2, Colts number 3. You think the Ravens are going to jump back to number 4 with the Steelers loss? Chargers going to be number 5, and the Bills and Jaguars will both switch places at 6, 7. So the Jaguars are going to be number 6. And the Bills are going to be the Bills are going to be number 6. Jaguars are going to be number 7. And on the NFC side of things, you think the Rams are going to stay 1, Bears going to stay 2, Eagles stay 3, Buccaneers at 4, Seahawks stay 5, Packers stay 6, 4, 9. So the NFC is not going to change. The only thing in the AFC that you have changing, you think the Ravens are going to take the 4th spot back from the Steelers, even after a loss, and you think the Bills and Jaguars are going to swap places. So, yeah, that's what you think. Now, let me update this again, and I'll do mine for this. Let's see. So, Jacksonville. Put this over here. Seahawks. All right. So, for me, in the AFC, I have the Patriots as the 1 seed, Broncos staying as number 2, Colts staying at number 3, Steelers staying at number 4. I have the Jaguars and Chargers switching places. I have the Jaguars taking number 5, Chargers going to number 6, and I have the Bills staying at 7. And for the NFC, I have the Rams staying at 1, Bears staying at 2, Eagles staying at 3, Buccaneers staying at 4, Seahawks. So we both think the NFC is going to be the same. The Seahawks 5, Packers 6, 4, 7. We both think the NFC is going to be the same. But for me, the AFC, I have the only thing being different is the Jaguars and Chargers flip flopping from 5 and 6 as Jacksonville is going to be number 5, so it'll be number 6. Ooh, batted down, Georgia wins. All right, so what? So after that, what? Do you have anything else to add?
What do you think about the Saints depth chart on kicker? Did you see that?
About Cade York?
It's got Cade York and Charlie Smythe on there.
Okay.
So I guess Charlie Smythe was on the practice squad.
Yeah. So,
maybe
I told this to you personally yesterday, and I think I even made a video about it. Look, I'm glad we got rid of Groupie, but if you think Cade York is gonna be the franchise kicker, I mean maybe, but I think Cade York is just brought in just so he's a different guy. Personally, I think it's going to be. I think Saints are going to draft a kicker in like 5th or 6th round. Maybe the 5th is probably like. Maybe the 5th is maybe like a little too high for a kicker, but I think they're going to take a kicker by the end of the draft. Because Groupie, I think, was undrafted when he came out, so I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna want to get probably the best kicker in the draft that's available in like the 5th or 6th round. So, personally, and Charlie Smythe. I will say Smythe, he looked solid in the preseason, but so did Groupie, and we saw how that turned out. So I'm just saying, like, it's 50-50 for it. But yeah, do you have anything else?
No, I was just saying maybe we should go with Smythe the rest of the year. To see what the young guy could do. I mean, this team's not going anywhere this year. If they were, then K York would make some sense. Because he had experience. But Smythe being younger, why don't we see what he's got to see if you can build with him in the future? That's my take on it.
Yeah, well, maybe. Shout out to Jerry for popping in the chat earlier. Dad, where can they find you?
You can find me on Mic'd Up YouTube page on Hurricane Mike every week, and don't forget Caesar Ruiz sucks.
He does suck now. Yep. You can also find me at Hurricane Mike, Kyle Phelps, and Keeping It Real, Who That Sports Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn the bell on so you don't miss another future upload. And Dad, we're gonna leave them as always with a who dat, and don't be a what?
Don't be a Falcons fan. I mean, they suck even when they eating their Thanksgiving Day turkey.
Yep.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble.